Hey, thank you for taking the time to click on today's video. You know, as a financial educator and a fiduciary for over 2.5 decades, it is so very important to me to be able to provide meaningful information to all of you to help you become more successful for retirement. When we think about retirement, we obviously have many different components that go into making a retirement a successful one. In many respects, though, retirement is a lot like a watch. It's a lot like a clock. If you take the back of that clock off, what you're going to realize is that there's many different parts to that clock. There's springs, there's little gears, there's cogs, there's all sorts of things that are going on in the back of the clock. And focusing on one particular area of retirement to be able to make that area successful is kind of like asking, well, what particular part in this clock is going to make this clock keep time? It just doesn't exist. It is one component that is comprised and working in unison with many other components to make that whole operation of a clock work properly and keep the time accurate. When it comes to your retired life, you want all of the parts in your clock operating at their maximum efficiency. And when it comes to looking at retirement, it's comprised of many different parts. You have Social Security. They say that Social Security is comprised of over 3,500 rules and there's 300 ways that you can take it. Well, if that is true, what are you doing to educate yourself on finding the ideal age, the ideal strategy to be able to get the maximum benefit from Social Security? If you haven't gotten involved, if you haven't begun taking the time to educate yourself on that, it's something that's absolutely important. Realizing that a 401k is a wonderful opportunity for you to be able to maximize and take advantage of volatility, being able to contribute very efficiently, very effectively. It's money that you don't see, it's money that you eventually don't miss, but you know that over the course of your working life, it's compounding. But do you always use the 401k? And the answer is absolutely not. It is a growth-based tool designed for long-term growth, but it is not a distribution tool. That's where IRAs come into play. This is when we get closer to retirement. We begin taking money from our 401k or our 403b or our 457 plan, our thrift savings plan, and we start rolling and transitioning that money into that IRA for a number of different reasons. But then we can't forget that these two here are taxable, and that's the reason that the Roth comes into play. What are we doing to assure ourselves that as we age and we get closer to retirement, when we actually enter into retirement, that we don't have, well, income that is nothing but taxable to us? And this is where we have to begin educating ourselves about taking and converting money to Roth, adding money to Roth, making certain that we're keeping that proper balance between pre-tax money versus totally tax-free money. Now, what about the third kind of money? Post-tax money. This is the money you've earned, you've paid the income tax on, and now it's just pure principal. Is that money just sitting in the bank? Is it sitting in CDs? Is it doing not much of anything? Is it earmarked for anything in particular? Like when you retire, you want to be able to do a big kitchen remodel job or buy a brand new car. Maybe you're looking at buying that home down in Phoenix. These are the proper dollars to use like that. But are you efficiently and effectively investing that money so that it can create for you safe income that's going to be consistent? And speaking of income, then we have to also look at our pensions. Pensions are very similar in many respects, but they're also very different in the sense that some of the time we can take our pensions and when we retire, we can lump sum those into our IRA. We have many advantages doing that. Oftentimes, though, there's pensions that we can't do that with. We are stuck with the options. But have you educated yourself on what those various options do for you? Is there pros? Is there cons? Is there things that we want to be very mindful of, not only for ourselves, but also for our spouse, for our children, in the event that we pass away prior to expectations? You see, at the center, at the nucleus of all of this, is your asset allocation. How you're choosing to invest your money, whether you're investing your money in your own retirement and you're paying less into Social Security, how you're investing the 401k and understanding the limitations of that, how you're investing your money in your IRAs and your Roth, and even your non-qualified money. asset allocation, what you have where, whether it's precious metals, whether it's stocks, whether it's mutual funds, index funds, or otherwise. These are all the things that need to be managed, and this is the reason why working with an advisor who has the heart of education, someone who wants to teach you, someone who's willing to teach you, someone that is willing to go the extra mile to be able to educate you without trying to fill you with the expectation of buying something. That's a salesman. What you want is a fiduciary, someone who's willing to take the time to show you how you can maximize the benefits of each and every one of the parts of your clock, so that not only can you be on time, you can stay on time for the rest of your retirement. If you like these little videos, I encourage you, give us a thumbs up, click that subscribe button if I've earned your trust, and share this with friends. So many of us get lost focusing on one part of the clock when we should be looking at all the various parts, making certain that it's working in unison together. I also encourage you, take a moment, go to our website, Johnson WIM. There's a wealth of information on that website. There's previous YouTube videos as well as our Saturday morning radio show that would be helpful in continuing your broadening of scope of information and education as to what it takes to have a successful retirement. I'm Matthew Johnson. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and remember, it's up to you to make today a great day. Thanks so much for watching.